Designing a car is obviously a very complex and long process. Drawing, prototyping, clay concepts, and it's still not the end. Because before the final decision is made, very often a few different options are being considered. Do you know this car? Well, obviously you don't, because this is how initially Alfa Romeo 156 was meant to look like. Or do you know this car? This is the first generation of Renault Megane. Or actually how it was supposed to look like before this project was scrapped in favor of the design we all know. Thank God Ford decided to discard this concept of Ford Mondeo design. And thank God this rear end of Volvo V70 was also discarded after all. On the other hand, I wouldn't be mad if Peugeot 4 or 6 had this form of body shape. In most cases, designing a car has the same structure of people involved in the process. You have head of the design, you have designers who are working with him, but anyway, the final decision is being made by the person up above. Sometimes, despite accepting the final stage of the project, some weird changes can happen in way later stages. Let's take a look, for example, at the current generation of Kia Sportage, or Sportage, it depends how you pronounce it in your country. Controversial front end of this car, I think right now isn't shocking people as much as it was happening in 2021. Well, people actually want this kind of design because this is one of the most popular compact SUVs in the world. But many people aren't aware that initially the front-end design of the current generation of this car was planned to have a little bit different details. For example, take a look at headlights. LED strip, which right now is located closer to the grille, which in the original accepted for production form, was planned to be located on the opposite side of the headlight. Allegedly, also the front grille was planned to have a little bit different feeling. In other rendering from the same period, the late 2020, you could see even more fantasizing shape of the LED strip and also the badge located on the grille. Everything was about to be ready to launch a brand new generation of Kia Sportage in the end of 2020. But then a new CEO of the Hyundai Group came, took a look at the project of Kia Sportage and said, "Are you crazy? These headlights won't be looking like this. Come on, let's create a new project." After a few long discussions with the management and design team, it's been decided to delay the launch of the new Kia Sportage and create a little bit redesigned front end. So if in June 2021 you had some objections towards the final design of the new Kia Sportage, well, it was the best what Kia could do by the time. Let's stay in the region of South Korea to bring another car from Korean company, which initially was planned to have a little bit different design. This model was Hyundai i20, a second generation of the subcompact car mostly known in European and Indian markets. When you take a look at these spy shots from March 2014, you can see that the design of the rear lights is totally different from that what we know today. It was very similar to, for example, design of the same detail in second generation of Citroën C4. Despite being weeks from launch, because you can see that this car by the time was ready for the serial production, somebody in Hyundai, this time unknown, decided to say, okay, I'm not sure about these rear lights. Let's create a little bit different shape of these. And this is how the final second generation of Hyundai i20 had a little bit more stripped shape of lights. Okay, enough of South Korea, right now let's go to France. And there is one very interesting thing regarding French designers. They are very open regarding how much things are happening behind the scenes. On some pictures you can see cars which were totally scrapped despite advanced development. And some pictures show rejected projects of cars which today we know very well. Because we all know Renault Clio, but many of you aren't probably aware that the fourth generation of this subcompact French minicar was supposed to look totally different. On these pictures from early 2012, you can see that everything is totally different. The different is silhouette, the different is the shape of the headlights, different is the shape of doors, and everything is so strange but yet very familiar. Yes, familiar because this project eventually was accepted into production, but for totally different car. After some minor changes in the design of the front and rear, eventually this design has been given to the first electric Super Mini from Renault, a Zoe subcompact hatchback. And what about Clio? Well, Lawrence Wardenecker has been ordered to create a totally different body shape. And to be fair, I think it's a very fortunate decision because the design of the 4th generation Renault Clio aged like a good French wine. Similar situation happened with the 6th generation of Opel Corsa. After disappointing 5th generation, which actually was only a slightly restyled previous model, Opel decided to finally create a brand new model from scratch. It was planned to be bigger and a little bit more avant-garde regarding the design. People from Opel didn't know by the time that this was the last General Motors era project, because only a few months after the camouflage prototype of the new Corsa was spotted, it's been announced that Opel is changing its owner. 100-year-long American era has ended, and French from PSA acquired the German company. New French owner decided to cut all ties with American past as quick as possible. PSA allowed Opel to launch the new generation of Insignia mid-size car because it was actually ready to launch, but nothing more. So the planned new generation of Corsa was totally scrapped. Instead, a new project was created, this time with using of Peugeot Citroën platform. With that, launch of new Corsa was delayed by the next 2 years, but the car which we've seen in 2019 was totally different from the General Motors project. And by the way, this car eventually was born, but in China, as Buick. Staying in Europe, let's take a look at Fiat. Many people don't remember the mid-size Chroma, but story of this car is very interesting. Everything was supposed to be ready way earlier than the final debut. Originally, the new mid-size Fiat was supposed to be launched in the 2003. The project called New Large was planned to materialize with big station wagon. This time, design team was doing its best to create a perfect project, but the head of the team said he was unhappy with everything which the team has created. Seems like Gianni Coda had totally different vision because the final project of the new large Fiat was totally different from the initial sketches. Actually, Fiat Chroma, so the final car launched 2 years later, has nothing to do with the initial design of the Fiat New Large. The final car isn't even actually a station wagon because it's hard to tell whether Fiat Chroma is a minivan or crossover, or maybe some mix of all of these. One thing is rather obvious. The radical redesign of this project didn't help Fiat Chroma to be a successful car, and after only 6 years of production, this car was discontinued without any direct successor. And last but not least, we cannot forget that even Chinese designers, despite accusations of creating all current cars with AI, sometimes are going back to the design studio because of the backlash. This is what happened in fall 2022 when the new SUV called Way 80 was presented. Potential Chinese buyers weren't happy with the very peculiar design of the front end. Eventually, this part of the car was totally redesigned and the new luxury SUV was renamed to Way Lanshan. It's actually hard to tell whether any improvement has been actually made here, but let's leave the decision to the Chinese audience because this car anyway is only sold in China. And how about you? Do you know any other production cars which initially were supposed to look totally different? Share your examples in the comments below. Thank you for watching.